Welcome to the Z Truth Podcast, where we have transparent, real, and thought-provoking conversations. Your host is Zyykirrah, the author of 15 Social Media Secrets That Pay.
Hello. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Z Truth Podcast, where we talk about transparent, real, unbiased, thought-provoking, and holistic topics. I'm excited again with my favorite guests and my favorite two people in the world to be here with my sons. And we're going to talk about sales and the art of sales in just a moment. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to Relax 2-Day Spa. If you have not gotten this massage, out of all the times you've been listening to me on this show, you need to go and get it done in Raleigh, North Carolina, Litchford Road. You want to check them out if you want to get 70 minutes for $49. Give them the code ZG1504. And also shout out to Visual Dynasty for doing the production of this podcast. So I'm going to bring them on. Come on, Pumatig. I mean, Zykir and Zyaire. I got to stop calling them Pumatig. Hey, guys.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. All right. Well, I wanted to go to this topic that sales is a life skill, because I feel like with the new professions, because, you know, you could take them around the block on where you started, because at first you were doing, was it Jets Pizza?
Yeah, first place I worked at was in Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's. I keep saying
Jersey
Jets
Mike's.
Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jets, then trucking, then take us through there, and then we'll go to Zyaire.
Okay, so my work history.
Take me through there. Sorry.
That's a crazy song.
Is it?
Yes. Anyways, I started off right. The first thing I did was washing.
Circle.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
First thing I did, right? And I always go back to this moment because it allowed me to like look back and say, hey, I can do this, right? Which was when I started washing cars. So that's the first thing I ever did. My first business, I should say, was washing cars, right? I was like 12 years old at the time, believe it or not. I think I was 12. I think it was either 12 or 11, right? I think you were 10 or 11, right? But that's when I started. That's the first thing I ever did. The first job I ever had was at Jersey Mike's, right? I was not the best worker. I was very nervous, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely lost that job very quickly, right? And then of course after that, I went to Jets Pizza. So I was like the guy that washed dishes and things of that nature. Now after that, I went into the warehouse field. I worked at a lot of different warehouse jobs, right? We're talking about Amazon. At one point I worked at like a, you know, I'm not gonna say a redneck area, but it was like one of those vibes, you know, metal fabrication kind of thing. And I did like 8 different warehouse jobs, right? I actually went to school for wildlife biology as well. That was my major, and I ended up switching it to civil engineering, right? Because I was dating a girl at the time. Her father was a civil engineer, and I was interested in that. It didn't work out for me, right? So I went again to the business field. So I started going to school.
What girl was that?
In New Jersey.
Oh,
in
okay.
New Jersey, right? He was a very successful guy, very successful.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah,
God rest his soul. He passed.
He ended up passing
Yeah,
away.
he passed.
But he was very successful, and I was interested in it because he was always traveling. You know, he had like weeks to his family at a time, and I'm interested into that. And for me, it wasn't for me because it was a lot of math and things of that nature, so it wasn't my forte. So I ended up switching over into a trade, which is truck driving, right? So I was working at Amazon. They were doing a program where they paid off your schooling, which was good. So I started doing that. And then after that, I was making good money at the time, as you would know. I was making really good money. I was never home, which is what my mom would like.
That's not true.
I was never home.
I was not happy that he was not home.
Yeah, you're a piece of
I
crap.
begged them to come back here, by the way. They were on their own. We'll talk about that another time, but...
Yeah, so I started doing that for a little minute. But the problem with that was there wasn't no growth aspect, where I couldn't see myself doing that for the next 15 years, let alone get into business, right? So that's when I joined a consulting firm that taught me how to run my business from the jump, right? All the aspects as far as learning how to sell, and of course managing people, and of course running a firm. So that's what I do now.
Okay. What was your first job? Take us to, I won't sing that song again. But...
The first job, I mean, of course, we did the car washing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all forgot about y'all used to do recording too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Zyaire. Yeah. How was that?
So yeah.
He kept it up longer.
He did. That was your forte.
Yeah. So so first it was the for me it was the car washing. Then it was the I used to help out Miss Myrna, the lady, to take out garbage, pick up mail. Then my first official job was at Wendy's, which I was there for about 2 weeks, I think. Then from Wendy's it was Sonic. We was at Sonic.
Oh yeah, I did work at Sonic.
We was at Sonic for a minute.
We were making a lot. We made a lot of money.
That's all we did was work.
Yeah.
But and then after Sonic, I believe that's when I came back to North Carolina and worked at Amazon, I believe. No. It was a lot of jobs.
It was like
trash talk.
Trash
Junk
company.
removal company. I did a little of and then
You can't talk about that.
and then and then Amazon. I did Amazon for a good amount of time. Then from Amazon, that's when I went to the sales. My first sales job was door to door. I did that for about a week. It wasn't I think it was just really the company. But then after that job, I went to same thing I kind of do now, but just had a different client that we was working for. But just the company that was there and the people that was there, I just didn't resonate well with them, if that's the right word for it. But then now we're in the same place now, and then now we're consulting firm now.
Yeah, we're opening up our own business. So.
Yeah, they keep it plain and simple.
That's what we do now.
So what do y'all think, true or false, does everyone sell something in life?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, so...
Do y'all think that's...
Because you got to think, let's say I have a family, and I have kids, and I have a wife that's trusting me for me to take care of. I'm selling the aspect that I can be a good husband, right? Like I'm taking care of these things. Maybe my image is a certain way, right? My kids are looking up to me as a father, right? Those things are sales, right? Because sales is just a transfer of energy, and having a aspect as far as, okay, I can trust this person with the energy that I'm giving them, whether that's money, whether that's trust, whatever that may be. So that's what I believe. I believe sales is that aspect in anything you do in life.
The transfer of energy.
Yeah.
What they be doing now? Clock that. What about you, Zyaire?
Most definitely true. Whatever you're doing, whatever it is, you're selling something, whether it's yourself, whether it's service you can provide, whether it's trust, whether it's a goal or something like that. Regardless of whatever it is, you're selling something for something to happen. So yeah.
I agree too. I mean, I wouldn't have probably said it was energy, but I do think money is energy. I think you attract it by whatever you put out, And why do y'all think sales is important? Do you think everybody should, no matter what profession they're in, learn sales?
I believe, now of course, like if you look at the stats, 90% of people work for somebody, right? And out of that 10% of businesses, only 2 to 3% have employees. So I'm not gonna say everybody should know that aspect, but you should have an idea. Because you gotta think, like when you guys are getting into relationships, right? You gotta learn how to, as a man, you should be selling yourself. That's kind of what you're doing, right? That's a sale. If you really think about it, like, okay, I'm a good man for you and the family that's in the future. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm selling myself to that person. So I think if you're trying to have any type of success in life, right? Or if you're trying to even just have a family on the base level, you should have some sort of something that you can show for and persuade people in that aspect. That's what I believe. It's just for me. What you think?
I mean, I wouldn't say everybody should know the art of, well, the question was, should everybody know the art of sales?
Yeah. Like they learn at least some kind of skill set in sales.
Oh yeah, of course. Because like we just was saying, everything sales is really not sales. I guess the connotation of sales is like, oh, you're walking in front of somebody and you're doing this to get them to buy something right then and there. But so yeah, long story short, because whatever it is, you're presenting yourself in a way where you want people to receive it in a way that you're trying to present it, basically. So yeah, for sure. But I would say I got this question asked a lot to me when like training people and things like that. They always ask, do I think everybody can do sales? And
No.
I bet it's different though. Reason why I say yes because it's just the amount of work you're willing to put into it. Because honestly, it's 90% mental.
Yeah.
If you're working on your mind constantly, I feel like everybody can do it, but it's just going to be it's going to be harder for other people. And of course, the way people live, they see somebody else better. They comes a little easier for somebody else. It's just not their thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got to focus on something else. So yeah, to answer my core question, I guess. Yeah.
I think everybody could learn sales. This is why.
Mm-hmm.
So in the company Ameriplan I used to be in, I don't know if y'all remember, I think y'all met him. His name was Roger Campbell. And Roger Campbell was probably the worst salesman. His ratio was horrible. I think it took him his 400th recruit before he found his first national sales director. And then from there, if you're in a good sales organization, if you get paid off of the efforts of other people, which a lot of people might not understand that concept, but that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if I train you, if I show you the ropes, if I give you the tools in which how to do this, I should be compensated in some way, form, or fashion. Call it a finder's fee, associate's fee. They call it all these different things. That's basically what it is. But when he found his first national was Miss Lorraine, which was Jerome. And then not that one. Jerome, rest in peace. He was one of my mentors in Detroit. Okay. He found Lorraine. And then you find certain people where they can just the right person at the right time. And he was terrible at it. To believe it or not, I was terrible at sales and public speaking. My first public speaking gig, I walked up, stood up in front of the room and choked. Said nothing, like nothing came out. Nothing came out. But I was just so radically sold on my vision that I just felt like, well, I just got to keep going. I had enough people around me to push me to keep going. So I do agree, anybody can learn it. But I believe the formula for learning it is not just the learned behavior. You got to go through the no's. You got to understand you get paid for no's. That's how I used to look at it. But in sales, I believe your perception has to change. It has to be like, okay, some people will get 10 no's and think it's the end of the world. Somebody who is in sales who are trying to be successful, you get 10 no's, that means you right knocking on your yes. And all that really tells you is your ratio, because literally it's a numbers game. You literally can walk up to somebody and say, hey, you want this dental plan? And it's a terrible pitch. But if you say it to enough people, someone's going to say yes. That's the guarantee. And so if anybody watching this, like, I want to get into sales, I want to get into this, I want to get into that, you got to understand, you could say the most terrible thing, and if you say it to enough people, someone's going to say yes. And then the process of learning how to perfect what you say so it's more appealing to more people. But, basically, i.e. your system. But I think, and tell me if you guys agree with me or not, if the most important thing is you got to have confidence. And I think that's not just in sales, that's in relationships. Women love confident men. Men love confident women. And confidence I think comes with self and personal development, because one thing I did a lot for years is I did have certain issues with self-love, looking at yourself and going, I'm this, that, and the fourth. I had to learn that. I don't know if y'all knew that. I ain't always thought I was the bomb. I really didn't. But what I was sold on was the people around me telling me that, and I didn't have no other choice, because I was like, my kids get off the bus at 3:00. I got to be home. I got to figure it out. So what y'all think, how important do you think confidence is? Because I know for me, I would have to pump myself up before. You know what I mean? Like how do y'all, before I get into the confidence part, well, answer that first. Do y'all think confidence is important in sales?
I think confidence is a foundation to just anything as far as like you trying to lead somebody or of course present anything, right? Because if you gotta think, if I'm trying to get a product from someone, if I'm trying to, you know, take on a specific idea that this person's presenting to me, right? It could be anything. But this person isn't confident in what they're saying, why would I follow that particular idea? Right? So confidence is of course a foundation, right? And of course confidence comes into, like you said, the self-image. So to make it very simple, I don't want to go into a tangent, but confidence is, of course, I believe it's a foundation.
Yeah, I definitely think confidence is very important in the aspect as first you're going to need it for personal, you're going to need it for business, you're going to need it for pleasure. You're going to need confidence in anything and everything you do. And honestly, now that I really see around different people in the sales setting and training different people, and I see like when people don't have that confidence, and I see that, you really won't. You can't really do anything. You can't work with no confidence. You really can't, because nobody's not going to trust something that you're saying if you don't trust yourself or trust what you're saying. If you don't believe exactly what you're believing, nobody's not going to believe it. And that's really all confidence is just presenting yourself in a way that you know exactly what you're talking about.
Now the question is how you build confidence.
Yes.
That's the question. And I think the best way to build confidence is, of course, a self-image thing, right? So a lot of times, right, and if you look at life in general, we're told who we are from the jump, right? You're named somebody, like your name's Zyaire, I'm named Zykir from my mother, right? So we're constantly being told who we are, but we don't spend time telling ourselves who we are, right? So I think that taking the time of doing that, like who is the ideal me, right? What be the foundation to that, right? So for example, one thing I always do is I do a mental exercise where I write down, okay, what is the ideal person for myself, right? Am I assertive? Am I confident, for example, right? Am I patient, right? Making sure I'm doing those mental exercises to where I can get to the next level, right? And lead people. And that starts from there. So I think that's the best way to build confidence, is just, you know, telling yourself, what is it that I'm going to be?
I'm that.
Yeah, and it is, because no one else is going to tell you, right? You only tell yourself.
Yeah. And that's what I said, the tie to what you were saying too. One of the ways I think you will best build confidence, or really, in my eyes, the best way to build confidence is just knowing exactly what you're doing and knowing exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. If I go play football and I don't know how to catch a ball, I'm not going to be too confident. I'm not going to actually be excited to go out there and catch a ball. But if I know exactly how to catch a ball, exactly how to run a route, exactly how to do exactly what I need to do, then of course that confidence is going to build up a little bit more. And so long story short, is having that knowledge about what you're actually doing. And tie it back to you, knowing exactly who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're not going to be able to present yourself as confidently as you can if you didn't.
I'm going to counter that. I'm going to be devil's advocate, right? So I think the why is more important, right? I'm going to tell you why. Because you got to think, the way the mind works, so my belief, right? You have to have a goal or a reason behind what you're doing, right? So one thing that I read in, there's tapes called Your Wish is Your Command, right? It's a guy named Kevin Trudeau.
Oh, yeah.
You should look him up. And he talks about this. He talks about how 99.9% of your focus points should be on why, your thoughts, and your feelings, right? Only 0.01% should be on the methods and techniques. And the reason why is because the way the mind works, right? For example, all of us have tried to go to the gym for 2 weeks and focus on methods, right? How long has it taken for you guys to stop? You really think about it, right? Okay, I know how to go to the gym. I know how to do my squats. I know how to do my push-ups. But the why is what's going to drive you, right? So if I have a clear why of what I'm doing, the methods will just come, right? A lot of the things we do is subconscious.
A lot of things we know how to do.
We already know how to do them. It's just we're not doing them because we don't have a strong why, right? And the why is, of course, I believe is always outside of yourself, and it's always for a greater good. So for example, like my why would always be my brother, my family, because they're counting on me in that aspect, right? So I think that's the main thing, right? If we continue to have a
Do you listen to this podcast? Because you know we had an episode, Darnell, you could actually attest to this, that I definitely be talking about the why. If your why don't make you cry, it's not big enough. I can't believe he said all of this. I'm about to cry.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the foundation.
So I really do think that what y'all both said. So I always used to teach that in y'all probably don't remember, y'all a little young then, but I used to teach you got to have confident belief in yourself, your product, and in the industry that you're in, which is the knowledge. And I want to echo off what you said. I totally agree with the football aspect, because when you go in that field, when we play, because I still play like a nut, sometimes it's more daunting when you don't have a game plan. If I don't know who on special teams, I don't know who on offense, or we don't know who on defense, and it's kind of like not organized, you literally are worried about that more than the skill set side of it, of what to show why you should be in this position. And then just echoing off of what you said, your why is the most important thing, because it's going to be nights you're not going to want to get up. It's going to be days that you're not going to mornings you're not going to want to get up. It's going to be nights that you have to take another 3-4 hours to complete something that you don't want to do that. And your why is going to make you get up and do it. You know what I mean? And like you said, my why is my family, my sons. I wanted to retire my parents. All those different things. Those are things that are going to drive you. It can't be you want to get a pair of new sneakers, or it can't be you need to pay your bills, because you can pay your bills by going and get a job at McDonald's. You can pay your bills by doing it. I won't say it's easy to get a job, but I know it's simple. I haven't, went down that road in a long time, but I'm sure if I really was like, I'm gonna go get me another job real quick, I can do that. Because it's not a hard thing to do, right? But if it's just to pay a bill, but if it's something bigger, like family wealth and family, I got kids to feed. That used to be a big thing for me. So a lot of people be like, well, why you be working a lot? You don't got time. I don't got time for it, because, like you said, when you have bigger things and goals, you have to definitely adhere to that. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of things, I believe. And so not having one, like you could be extremely confident, but the one thing I will say, a lot of people, there's a such thing as ignorance on fire is what we used to call it. Somebody might not know what they're doing, but they're excited and enthusiastic, and people feed off that kind of energy. And then they get better as they know. They might have to talk to 25 people, but they just excited. You know what I mean? And then once they actually get the knowledge, now they only got to now they got 3 out of 10 versus 1 out of 25 or 1 out of 40. And then after that, it just becomes almost second nature, where everything is a sale. Like you said, I agree with y'all. Everything is a sell in life. You're selling yourself. You're selling yourself to your children, to your family. Like, listening to y'all, this is a really surreal moment for me, because I'm like, well, y'all were listening and you're still feeding yourselves. Mm-hmm. And it's easy. One thing I will tell parents is it's a lot easier to teach your kids by doing it versus just telling them. Because I could tell you till you blue in the face, read books, do personal development, do this. But if you never see me do it, you're probably just saying, she just telling me this. But when you see when you see the person doing it, it's a lot easier. That's just like when you have a mentor in sports. If I show you how to do a dig route versus me just telling you how it is on paper, you're going to be able to do it a lot better. Mm-hmm. So, I know next week we got a really exciting show. It's going to be talking about from boys to men. Mm-hmm. I'm not really a man, but I'm going to be here sitting in on this really incredible episode that I'm truly, truly excited about. But before we end this show, I definitely want to ask you guys, when you hear boys to men, what is something that you would say that you don't do now that you might have done when you were boys?
I would say when I was a child, I thought that the world owed me stuff.
Ooh.
I thought that, like, I was very, when I was growing up, it was a very, I deserve this, I need to have this, I should have this, right? And when I started to become, get a lot more mature, I realized I have to go out there and earn what is owed to me. So that's one thing I would say.
My thing it probably would be
stinging ass attitude. So
Well, I guess it kind of ties into it. I was gonna say just reacting off of purely feelings or making decisions based on pure emotions. I feel like once I got to the point where I know how to put in two different categories of this emotional or this logical, now I gotta see if it's do I gotta look at it a little bit more emotional? Do I look at it a little bit more logical? So that's where I feel like becoming from the difference between a boy and a man.
And that right there tells you better be tuned in for next week's show because it's going to be fabulous. And again, if you haven't gotten that massage, go to Relax 2-Day Spa. The code is ZG1504. 70 minutes for $49. You should be ashamed of yourself if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina and you haven't gotten the darn massage yet. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the messages, the support. And until next time, make sure you live your week with nothing but love, peace, and hair grease. Bye. Peace.
Welcome to the Z Truth Podcast, where we have transparent, real, and thought-provoking conversations. Your host is Zyykirrah, the author of 15 social media secrets that pay. So let's get real, get honest, and get started.